The discussion time is up. Here are the rules for reply speech. After the speaker has spoken for 3 minutes, the bell will ring like this. And after the spoken for 4 minutes, the bell will ring twice. The speaker has to stop. Now is the time for reply speech. We will now invite the opposition to present her reply speech. Time given is 4 minutes. Please begin.
Good afternoon, Chief Educator, Judge, MC, and timekeeper. I'm Min Ande, and I'm the fourth speaker of the opposition team. Everyone, I would like to emphasize our statement today, which is parents should not be allowed to choose their baby's gender. The first speaker of the opposite team have said that parents have the human right to choose their baby's gender. Due to Universal Declaration of Human Rights, nor is sex selection supported by this human rights declaration. Its writers did not imagine recent developments, but did include right for equal treatment and status for women, which allowing gender selection would undermine. Then the second speaker told us that this technique might solve the problems of overpopulation because some of the parents will abandon their children if they don't like their gender. In this case, we should change their mindset but not using this technique. And I will not routing anymore. Now I will affirm what my teammates trying to tell you all. The first speaker of our team has explained clearly about gender selection is a costly and risky process. The risk included the mom might catch the ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, the egg retrieval procedure complication, and the ectopic pregnancy. Those diseases, of course, would not cause a death, but the mother of that gender-selected baby will experience a lot of torture. People who have regular mindset would know. Why would you choose a higher risk option than an ordinary one? All you need to do is just to trust of luck. Accept your baby's gender, which have already decided by the God. This is the basic requirement of becoming a qualified parent. Next, she talked about cost. A basic price of customized baby is $100,000 US, which is around 400,000 ringgit Malaysia. Guys, does this really worth it? Spend so much money just to choose the gender of your baby. How about the surgery was unsuccessful? How about the risk before really happened? Have you ever think about it? We are not limiting the technologies growing. We are just making rational decisions and avoid of causing risk and wasting of money. After that, our second speaker have a statement about gender selection can cause social problems. Example given are included gender imbalance, reinforced discriminatory, increased sexist stereotypes. Those are not our prediction. It's now really happening in other countries. Our decision of allowing parents to choose their baby's gender would just enlarge this situation to become worse. Think about it. What if sexist stereotypes, which is an ancient phenomenon, keep on happening in our modernization 21st century? We humans have no improvement or even gain achieved. We're still having an old mindset about gender. This technique can really cause those social problems. We should not apply it into our life and just to make things worse. Last, our third speaker using a scientific way to explain how does this technique harmful. Thank you.
Thank you. The reply speaker has spoken for 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Now let's invite the government to present the reply speech. Time given is also 4 minutes. Thank you. Please begin.
Good afternoon to our honorable investigator and judges, members on the floor, and my lovely opponent. My name is Kyle and I'm the fourth speaker of government team. Now it's time to wrap up. debate, and I will debate and introduce the main clash that went on during the debate. The main and the most important clash in this debate is the question of using medical technologies to choose female or male babies. Are parents allowed to choose their baby's gender? We, the government team, totally agree with it. Like the third speaker mentioned just now, it is costly and expensive, but we think that it is for the individual to decide whether to do or not. And she also mentioned that it is not safe. Through the development of technology, we believe that it will soon be solved. If the process is success, then may become 3D, like choosing baby, hairs, eyes, colors of eyes. But I want to ask, if the technology is allowed, why it shouldn't be? Besides, the fourth speaker mentioned that sex selection do harm to us. We think that sex selection is a tool to save life. More people will live better, and more people will live better. My first speaker mentioned that choosing baby gender is a human right. According to the article of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that men and the women have the right to marry and to form their family. This has clearly shown that choosing a baby's gender should be allowed because parents can make the decision over how that family should be formed. Secondly, it's true sometimes parents are disappointed with the gender of their babies. If the child is not being in love in a family, how will it become a lovely family? We, the government, think that if parents are allowed to choose their baby's gender, it will not only satisfy their desire of organizing a perfect family, it will also prevent a lot of incidents like children abandoned and infanticide. Like my second speaker mentioned just now, some parents may be one of the carriers of some non-sex specific diseases. So, what if parents are allowed to choose their baby's gender? This kind of diseases can be prevented at all, which means gender selection can save lives instead of bringing disadvantages to humans. Last, we the government team want only the basic freedom to choose opposition's work. They say no to every opportunity because it is not right in their opinions. We stand with the government side saying that parents are allowed to choose the baby's gender. Thank you.
Thank you. The reply speaker has spoken for 3 minutes and 50 seconds. We have now come to the end of the debate. Please attention for our adjudicators to make a decision. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now the adjudicators will give both of the teams some comments. First, let's invite Ms. Yong Er.
Good afternoon. I would say that it was quite average debate just now. You actually did your preparation, I can see that. Just a few comments. Just remember to pace yourself when you're speaking because this is a debate, and actually I would say like almost the debate topic must be debatable, so it will of course have its bright and dark side. So it is not for you to convince yourself or convince your opponents, you need to convince the adjudicators. So you need to make sure that the adjudicators know what you're talking about, understand what you're talking about, rather than your opponents or you are understanding what you're talking about. Convince the judge in a smooth deliver, so you can let your point stand strong. And one thing about just now is like, please don't fight over the Wikipedia question, because I was noticing that when the opposition pick up that point, and then the government stick on at that point, and then the opposition took on that point again. And when you're making your stand, just go on your statistic, go on what have you featured, go on your points or something like that. Just don't fight over where you get the point, because actually everything written online is edited by human, and which there is always possibilities of having error or something that you can't really define is right or wrong. It's just a statistic, a reference, okay? And for the both sides, third speaker and the fourth speaker, I think you guys need to be more clearer on your roles, which is the third speaker actually need to do mainly the rebuttals, and the fourth, the reply speaker should be mainly summing up everything. Like for the reply speaker, you should be summing up both the opposition team's point and your team's point. Just don't go with like the first speaker, second speaker all over again, because that should be what the third speaker is doing. Yeah, that's all from me.
Thank you. Next will be Miss Nava.
Lily will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Let's
opinions.
invite our chief educators, Miss Lily will give us comment.
Okay, it's actually quite a tight, how to say, tight competition lah. It's like we were undecidable which team should win. So and by overall we have made up our conclusion. Later I will announce later lah. Okay. Anyway, on the point, the definition given is okay. And I did notice that for the opposition point, you are kept focusing on the rich and the poor on doing the baby gender selection on that. But based on this topic, parents should be allowed to choose their baby's gender. Actually, I was hoping the opposition should bring out a point on if we allow the parents to choose the baby gender, what is the main issue should be? The main issue should be. But it doesn't should be on the rich or the poor. The rich can do, the poor can do. I would expected something like if you allow parents to choose the baby gender, then it will increase the rate of abortion or sex surrender, like what's happening in India and China. But you didn't pick up that point. There is something you can discuss, how to say, next time you have this kind of topic. And another thing is about the gender imbalance point. There's one point that this team argued about you already mentioned that the third speaker, about the gender imbalance already exists in China and India. That is actually a good point for you to attack. Do you know that? What you can attack for?
We have research found that there are half the gender selection, like half of the parents, 50% did that, then almost like half boys and girls the parents want. So it doesn't really can solve this problem. Only remain the same or still.
The point that they are bringing out is they say gender selection, gender imbalance already exists in China and India. So why not we not allow this to happen? You get what I mean? It's already happened already. So why not we just allow them to choose on the embryo stage? Yeah, understand what I mean? Because now we haven't reached the stage of selecting the embryo sex yet, right? But now the parents are actually doing it, can I say manually? If they are born, the babies, they know that the wound is a girl or a boy, or usually girls they will abort, or they kill the baby when it was delivered. So you are arguing about that they want to do embryo selection at the embryo stage, right? So you're mentioning they already done the selection naturally, let's say naturally or manually, but not on the embryo stage. That is the point that you can actually attack on, which say because they have select naturally, that's why we have the problem of killings of baby or abortion. You get what I mean? There's actually a very good point, which we think that which speaker to rebut the rebut speaker, you should actually get that point to rebut that point. But you didn't, you missed out that chance.
Or the third speaker. Because you guys speak afterwards.
So that's actually a good point to attack during a debate. You missed a chance, you didn't see that. And that actually also decided that which team to win at this this narrow competition. Okay. So I think that's all. On that point. Oh yeah. Ideally, don't read from the papers. We know that you have done preparation, but most of you are read from the papers and not like understanding the point in heart and then speak up. Because when you do it naturally, you will actually help to add on points, and actually you can be a better speaker or can even be chosen as the best speaker. So we have announced. So we have chosen the best speaker for this group will be Jereen from the government. Okay, because we feel that she can deliver and in a good pace and then with confidence. Okay, so this is something that you should learn. Most of you can do it, you have the points, but you're too nervous. Some of you a bit panic at the beginning, and later on then you're like, oh, okay already. Then you perform better. Okay, and then for the winning team, we will announce it should be the government team. But overall, the points are still okay. And then I think there is the rebuttal you didn't do. So that's why you also submit that on that, the rebuttal on that point, some of the points. But actually it's a very close time. Okay? So that should be all.
Thank you. I would like to officially announce the government team as the winner for this round. Congratulations. This is the end of this round debate.